I think one of the hardest things to explain is what it feels like when your life keeps depending on something you do not fully control. I'm not meaning this in any kind of blaming way, and it's not because anyone is doing something wrong. It's just because practically that's how things are. Since moving to Switzerland in 2015, I don't think I've ever felt properly secure for a very long time. Life has kept moving on the outside. Different countries, different apartments, different jobs, different plans. And each time there's something practical to focus on, which can make it easier not to notice what it's doing to you internally. The last 2 times, within the space of a year, my husband has lost his job. And that carries a very real pressure because he's the one who carries the main financial responsibility for our life together. I understand that pressure. I see what it asks of him. His work is specialised, which means the opportunities aren't everywhere. And when a job ends, the question isn't simply, where would we like to live next? It becomes, where is the work? And that changes things. I left corporate finance in 2011 because of my health. I'd been working as a management accountant, and with Crohn's disease, the stress and the rhythm of finance simply didn't work for me anymore. Month ends, quarter ends, year ends, deadlines that didn't move. My body had made it very clear to me I couldn't keep living like that. So I built my own business, and I'm proud of that. It's taken effort, persistence, and a lot of continuing when things didn't look especially encouraging. The truth is, however, my income has mainly only covered my own personal expenses. I don't carry the rent, the bills, the family level costs of our life. So my husband remains the breadwinner. That word, breadwinner, it carries a lot. There's gratitude in it. However, there's also guilt in it as well. There's also the uncomfortable truth that I can't financially carry us both if he loses his job. That affects how free you feel. Technically, I can have preferences. I can say where I would like to live, where I wouldn't like to move, what I'd rather not do again. In practical terms, however, those preferences only carry so much weight when the real question is where work is available. That's the difference between having choices in theory and having choices that can actually shape your life. And over time, that starts to affect your voice. No one has to tell you to be quiet. No one has to dismiss you. It can happen much more subtly than that. You begin measuring what you say because part of you already knows it may not be possible anyway. You soften your preferences before they even leave your mouth. You wonder if there's any point saying what you want at all when the practical reality is stronger than the wanting. And after a while, some things just stay inside. I don't think of myself as passive. I have opinions, I have thoughts, I have a strong sense of what matters to me. Dependency, however, has a way of changing how much space those things take up outside of your own head. And living abroad can make that even more intense. When your life is built around the relationship and the job that brought you there, the whole structure can feel unstable when that job becomes unstable. You might still function perfectly well. You still sort paperwork. You still run your business. You answer messages. research apartments, book appointments, make dinner. From the outside, you look capable. Underneath, however, there's this tiredness, the tiredness of waiting, the tiredness of rebuilding, the tiredness of sensing instability before anything has even been confirmed. And I believe many women living abroad know that feeling. The life may look good. It may even be good in so many ways. And still, somewhere inside it, you can feel less certain than you used to, less rooted, less able to say clearly what you want, because too many parts of your life have had to remain adjustable for too long. Sometimes having a space outside the relationship matters. That's where one-to-one support and healing sessions can be really useful, because you can speak honestly without needing to protect anyone else from what you're feeling. And sometimes it's more specific, like the EFT script from the Establishing Strong Boundaries Self-Healing Bundle, especially when you begin noticing where you've stopped taking up space in your own life. Because this kind of limbo isn't simple. Love is there. Gratitude is there. Practical necessity is there. His pressure is real. My dependence is real. None of it cancels anything out. And perhaps that's what makes it so hard to explain. You can understand every practical reason and still feel quite lost, quiet loss of not fully steering your own life.